Hello everyone, it is Monday, February 22nd, 2010, and this is your daily dose of reptile news. Our first story comes out of Australia, where 45-year-old Robert Major is in a little bit of trouble. Apparently authorities executed a search warrant on his home and found him in possession of quite a bit of marijuana and illegally possessing pythons. Robert was placed on 2 years probation and fined $1,900 for being a dumbass. Next we have another quick tidbit about the release of pythons into the wild. This one surprisingly out of Lancaster County in central Pennsylvania, where it shows that people are still being stupid and releasing their pythons out into the wild when they get too large or people are too uncomfortable with handling them or something. This goes right down to the bare root of the problem of people are not researching their pets before they buy them. I really don't know what else to say about this. These people are the source of the problem. If you see anybody releasing a snake into the wild, an exotic snake into the wild, or hear any stories about it, do me a favor and do the rest of us a favor and slap them. Slap them twice. Next out of Fullerton, where the store owner says that the reptile business has dropped off 20 to 30% in the last 2 years and claims that sometimes they have snakes and other animals waiting for them outside the door, sometimes with notes, sometimes without notes, when they come to work in the morning. They claim that a lot of people just can't afford the new pets, and some people can't afford those that they already have. I don't really, I'm kind of taking both sides on this. I understand that this recession is really hard for some people. I have yet to go out back and shoot my dog or release my corn snake or parakeets or eat my chickens because I can't afford food or anything. We all see the same hard times. Some of us, I guess, just know how to get through them a little bit better. Then again, for some other people, their $50,000 SUV is probably a little bit more important than that living, breathing animal that they took responsibility for a year or two ago. I think leaving pets outside of boxes in front of a pet store is just as irresponsible and immature as releasing them into the wild. That's essentially what you're doing. Anybody that has a snake and has half a brain knows how much of an escape artist they are and knows throwing a snake in a box. There's a really good chance that snake's going out into the wild, and you are once again causing problems for the rest of us and for yourself, because when the economy gets better and things get better, you're going to go out and buy another one. And people don't understand, these are not disposable. There is no such thing as a disposable animal. Sometimes I'd just like to take some of these people I hear about and shove them in a box and throw them in front of a store. Maybe Safeway will take them on and start feeding them so we don't have to anymore. People, get a life. Come on. Here is a good one for you from South Africa, where more than a dozen police officers from several units responded frantically to a village, some with assault rifles, to save the villagers from a single snake. They don't make any real mention of what kind of snake it was, only that I believe it was 1.5 meters long. I think that's what they said. And that it was not a python. One person happened to mention that it was kind of ridiculous for so many police officers and vehicles and just armed people to arrive for a snake that I believe they said it was on an electrical box on top of a pole out of harm's way. They seemed to think it was a little bit ridiculous to have such a large response. But then at the same time, those South Africans are the ones that called them out there in fear for their lives. So I guess it's nice to see that while it's not a very big deal for some people, one person clearly was, I guess you could say, afraid for their life and clearly got the reaction they wanted. Next out of Frayser, where a while back a woman watching a Maury show about people confronting their phobias decided to confront hers in buying Heather, a ball python. Apparently she left her house for not very long, and when she returned, her door had been kicked in. Several items had been stolen, including Heather the ball python. The thieves took the cage and all, but left the light, and left the 60-pound, 8.5-foot long boa alone, probably wisely. Now all she wants is Heather back. Anyone with information should call Crime Stoppers at 528-CASH. Here's another good one, and I just want to slap the shit out of the New York Times for posting it because it's so stupid. The headline is, "They're big and ready to eat Florida." You all know what this is about already, don't you? They say right at the beginning of the article that if you're flying over Florida and you're approaching your destination, if it seems like the ground is squirming around, it's because it is, because the entire state of Florida is covered with pythons. They are talking about a review on the recent show, Invasion of the Giant Python, I believe it was, a Monster Quest show, which I did. If you look in the sidebar over there, you'll see a link to my vlog. I did a little preview on that as well, and I was, if you watched it and remember, if you didn't watch it and remember, go watch it now. I was a little disappointed about that show. The New York Times says we're left to make our own judgment on people that import, export, and keep these large pythons. And they say, and I quote, that judgment is likely to be idiots. They say if you're already in Florida and watching this program and feel the need to change the channel, be careful, because when you reach between the cushions of the couch for the remote, there might be a python there. Somebody, if you're in New York watching this, which I think there might be a couple few viewers from there, walk down to the New York Times office and slap them. That this article, even though it was, granted it was a review on the show, it seems like they're taking the show side. And anybody that watched that show, anybody, again, with half a brain, that watched that show, they already know what I said in the other video. That was I mean, they found 2 snakes in that show, and by finding those 2 snakes, they came to the conclusion that Florida had an infestation. I mean, we know Florida has a problem, but I'm not sure I would call it an infestation. They say the snakes are all over the state. They're running amok. They're going to eat the babies. They're going to eat the people. They're going to eat the politician. Well, okay, let them eat the politicians, but they're not going to eat anybody else. I mean, it's that's all I can say about it is. So, anyway, apparently that is all the news for today, for now at least. I promised you I was going to start that other project, and I'm going to start it today. It's a really exciting one. I don't know exactly how long it's going to take me. It's the first time I've done something like this, so I'm sure it's going to take a while. I wanted to start a new little thing where every day I'm going to leave you with a question. You can leave a text response, video response, or whatever you need to do to answer that question. The question is, for Monday, February 22nd, 2010, how do you feel about some of these reports that are coming out about this python issue? How do you feel about the news agencies that are kind of pushing this kind of one-sided idea here? Leave a comment below, text or video. And as always, if you want to read the whole stories, don't trust what I say. I'm just a person here sitting in my little makeshift office telling you these stories. There, those links are in the sidebar that go to the stories on foothillherps.com as I post them on there. And you know, read the stories, draw your own conclusions, and yeah, be good to each other.